But at least you came to that conclusion with a clear head. At least you let the frustration pass you first. At least you let the negative emotion pass you first. And you can confidently say, I made this decision, not my emotions. I did. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, and here on my little corner of the interwebs, we talk about life, love, the pursuit of passion, the pursuit of purpose. And today we're low-key going to talk about when those pursuits can get a little aggy. And hear me out, hold on, because I kind of started this talk in my most recent vlog and just the conversation of giving up. And I just feel like I need to work through this. And I need to work through this with myself by way of you. And we're going to work through this together. We're going to talk about it. And we're just going to dig more into the idea of giving up and why sometimes I feel like, yeah, do that, you know, like it doesn't always have to be a, oh, never give up, don't give up, da da da. Like there are so many intricacies and things that you can dig into when it comes to respecting your emotions and respecting how you feel about things. And we shouldn't just like write things off or like always apply a negative connotation to something just because other people do it or just because that's how we've always been taught to do it. And as I said, I kind of started on this topic just a little bit in my most recent vlog because I was getting some work done. And as I usually do when I find myself sitting down working on things for a long time, I kind of just like, I have to prevent myself from kind of spiraling a little bit just in regards to the fact that I feel like I'm always working. It's like I'm always working towards something. For as long as I can remember, I feel like I'm always working towards something. And it's not just the work that I have to do to survive, to pay my bills, whatever. There's always this extra work that I am applying, this self-inflicted work that comes after that, that is me trying to attract something, trying to put myself in the position to receive this life or receive these opportunities, receive this lifestyle that I want. And sometimes I just feel tired, honestly. Like I might feel a little burnt out. I might feel a little like, why am I doing this? Because you're really just like putting all this effort and all this time into these things and you're uncertain of the result. It's like you hope that there's going to be a certain result at the end, but you don't know. You can't tell the future. You're not sure if that's really going to come to fruition. And that's also why I've kind of been exploring more and allowing myself to be okay with and accepting that the things that I am doing, if nothing else, they really just need to be things I enjoy, because that way you don't really care what the result's going to be. Like the destination could be amazing, but the journey is too. So it's like, you know, maybe we get there, maybe we don't, but at least what I can control right here in this present moment, what I know I am experiencing is good and I love it and I'm good here. And that's pretty much where I have to always like reroute my mind back to. But when I started talking about it in the most recent vlog, when I was doing the work and whatever, and I was kind of just talking about like how sometimes your mind goes to, or I didn't say this, but this is what my mind was going to, and I kind of just like left that part out, that I was feeling like, like why do I do this to myself? But I left that part out. But mostly what I was saying out loud was just how as long as you love what you're doing and you're passionate about it, you feel like it's purposeful, it's meaningful for you, you feel like it's going to add value to other people, and it's a big piece of why you may be here on this earth, on this planet, then when things get difficult or when you're finding yourself having a hard time with figuring things out, you're seeing frustration is visiting you, don't be so quick to conclude that like, okay, this isn't for me. That's where I feel like it's not okay to give up. Like that's where we get into the whole talks of like you're not giving yourself enough space and opportunity to learn, and you're not trusting yourself, which is a whole other topic, because that's another thing where it's like once you realize that you do this, first of all, you know me, we're all over the place, but first of all, with the trusting topic, I am someone who I low-key have a history of giving up on things prematurely. Like I will have a very large interest in something, or I'll feel like this is what I'm about to do, like this is what I'm about to learn, I'm about to figure this out, da da da, and then once it gets too difficult, all right, I'm cool, like nah, it ain't for me, like I be over it. And getting older and looking back on your experiences and whatnot, and kind of realizing that you have that type of pattern where it's like, now maybe you want to try this other new thing. It's like, okay, now I think I want to like jump into the box over here. But then you look at your track record and you're like, hold on, Andy, like every time you want to do something, once it doesn't go the way you want it, or it's not yielding the results quick enough for you, you stop. And that's one thing where once you realize it, you can't ignore it anymore. Like, this is not the type of woman I aspire to be. So now we're a couple years into realizing that and practicing actually sticking things through, actually giving myself space to learn and grow, actually realizing that sometimes it's not always, oh, I want to give up on this, or this isn't for me. Sometimes it's just, I need a break. Sometimes it's just, okay, let me approach this a different way. Like, being years into that practice has allowed me to, when I reach that point of being over it, like I'm trying this new thing and it's not yielding those results, it's not going the way I expect, I kind of know the introspection and the thinking and the digging into my emotions and how I'm feeling in that time to figure out exactly what I need to do. Because yes, sometimes it is give it up, and sometimes it is shut up, go outside, touch grass, and come back to it later. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, when you feel like that feeling of I'm done with this, in whatever pursuit it is, whether it's like you're pursuing a career, you're pursuing some type of like educational goal, you are on this journey of, I don't know, starting a business, whatever it is, or you want to learn and do adult gymnastics, whatever it is, and you reach a point where, all right, I'm over this. I don't want to do it anymore. Think back to why you started. That is always my number one thing that I have realized works and does wonders for myself is always thinking back and being like, why did I even start this? Because sometimes reconnecting with why you even started this venture is literally all the push you need to be like, okay, no, I'm just having a moment. Like, I'm not about to stop this. I love this. Why would I stop? Like, I started this because it means something to me. I started this because I need to see what happens when I allow myself to see it through. I started this because it's just fun. Like, the fun outweighs the annoyance of it sometimes, whatever. Like, I started this because it really connects me with myself. It really resonates with my soul. It really feels like something I'm meant to be doing. Like, sometimes you just got to reconnect with that, and that can be all you needed right there. Like, all right, nope, I'm good. I don't want to give up on it. I'm good to go. Let's keep it pushing. But then sometimes when you reconnect with why you started, you find that disconnect. You're like, why did I start this? Actually, no, like I started this for insert wrong reason here. Like I started this out of boredom. I started this because an external force kind of applied pressure on me. I don't know. Sometimes people be like, oh, you can't do that. And you're like, what? Like, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Watch me. And then you get to doing all this thing and whatever, and you get all wrapped up and consumed with the actions and the work, putting in all the effort for this thing because you want to prove this person wrong. Meanwhile, in the midst of putting forth all that action and learning and doing this thing, you realize that you actually hate this thing. You don't want to do it, but you're too consumed with the ego side of you to recognize and respect the intuitive side of you that is like, I don't like this. So you just continue to do it. So when you reconnect with why you started in the first place, maybe it brings you back to something like that. Like something external got you started on this and your internal is not even feeling it no more. So then you're like, you know what? I'm cool. Like, no, that is not a justifiable reason for me to continue to endure what I am enduring in this journey of this thing. Like, I'm good. And when it's moments like that, when you reconnect with why you started and you realize how little this endeavor means to you, that's where I feel like, yes, it's cool to give up on it. Let it go. And we've talked about the topic of letting it go before, but in that video, in that topic, we were talking more so about people and like relationships that have run their course, like very simply that area. Whereas over here right now, we're talking about like you and your impact on the world and your life, where that effort and everything, that shouldn't be let go so easily. Like, you should be putting in a little bit more of that introspection and that thinking and that analyzing your emotions and your feelings and why this thing started and why, like, you should be putting forth all of that thought more so, because the decisions that you make and the actions you decide to take part in, those play a big part in your life and in your character development. And when you don't finish things, like when you don't follow through on your commitments, like you committed to doing this thing, you made a promise to yourself, like, and if you give up on stuff like that, that again, it impacts your self-trust. It impacts, and that's what I was saying before. It's like that's a whole nother topic though. Self-trust, like that is a huge part of this, but it's also a whole nother topic in and of itself, where it's like when you lose that self-trust, or when you notice that it's a little broken, like you can't even trust yourself to follow through on commitments. You're wondering, okay, I say I want to do this thing, but I realize that I have a history of not following through on things. Can I even trust myself to do it? Can I trust myself with anything? Can I trust how I feel about things? Because you never built that self-trust up, or you ruined it because you don't keep promises to yourself. You don't follow through on your commitments, all of that stuff. But yeah, I feel like that was a tangent, and that's okay, because that's what I do here. I go on tangents, and you're with me. We're just working through this. That's all we're doing. We're talking. We're working through it. But what I was saying is, when you reconnect with that reason why you started, and you realize that what you are doing actually does not resonate with you, it's okay to just go ahead and let it go. Give up on it. There's no negative connotation to that. There's actually a very positive connotation to that, because you very consciously analyzed your emotions and your feelings and where you're at in this space and how you are feeling about doing this thing. And you came to a very valid conclusion that, yo, I started this over some dumb shit, and I'm not about to just continue it just because, like, this has no connection to me. I am doing this for no reason, damn near. And my energy would be better spent elsewhere. There's nothing negative about that. There's never anything negative about that. That's actually a part of living and growing and living this life. You are meant to try different things. You are meant to maybe make a commitment to yourself that you are going to try this. Like, maybe in your commitment of saying, I'm going to do this, have that in the back of your head, like, I'm gonna try it because I've never done this before. What if I get into the midst of doing it and I realize it's not for me? That's fine. You can let things go when you realize that. You don't have to just see it through to the end. There's other aspects that could be at play and involved that may make that different. Like, if you maybe made a promise to someone else that you were going to follow through on something, just because you're in the middle of doing it and you're like, actually, this don't resonate with me no more. Like, I'm just not going to do it. That's not okay. But that's not what we're talking about. I'm just saying, like, there's, like everything, there's plenty of nuances and intricacies and different things and factors that you could apply to a situation that would make it a different result. But keeping it very simple, we're talking about just us. No external factors involved. Literally just us, ourselves, and the promises that we make to ourselves, the things that we tell ourselves that we're going to do / try. That's what we're talking about. And when you, in this very solo dolo practice in action of looking at what you're doing, when you realize that there's a disconnect and there's no reason for you to be doing it anymore, stop doing it. Give up on it. Let it go. Am I still in focus? Because me and this camera, like, I be going in and out of focus. I think it's the hand gestures and stuff. I don't know. But anyways, also, when you think about this project, this pursuit, this venture, this thing that you are embarking on, that you're trying to do, and you're starting to feel like you're over it, you want to give up on it, whatever, what are the aspects of it that are making you feel like that? Like, what are the characteristics of this pursuit that are making you be like, I'm cool on it, I don't want to do it no more? Because two things. If it has anything to do with maybe just the way that it is unfolding for you, like it's just not up to your standard, or it's not meeting your expectation of how you thought it was going to go, maybe it's not meeting a timeline that you set, anything along those lines, that's where we got to re-examine. We maybe just need to re-examine our expectations and adjust. And that is okay. That does not mean give up. That just means that you placed an expectation on this thing. You thought that it was going to go a certain way, and it's not going your way, and you need to let that go. Like, you need to let that go. You don't need to let the pursuit go. You need to let that go. Your attachment to how you wanted it to go. Because as we know, life is going to life, and things are going to unfold the way that they're meant to unfold. And those results that you're wanting, they may not yield at the time that you wanted them to, but they're most likely still gonna. It's just not when you want it. And that doesn't mean that you stop. Or also your expectations of how it's supposed to go. Like, it's not going to go the way you want it to go. You don't know what type of lessons and things that you need to learn in this. Like, you can't foresee that. Like, if you're a spiritual person, that is divine planning. Like, that's things that you cannot control and that you have no say in. Like, you're just here to live and fulfill what you're meant to fulfill. And the lessons are going to come at you in whatever form that they're meant to come at you. And you embarking on this project, this pursuit, this passion project, this thing that you want to try and do, that may just be the vessel for you to learn and grow as a person, as a human, to get you to a whole nother level that you had no clue you were supposed to go to. Or just as a human to actually like see this thing through. Like, you don't know. So when it comes to things like that, like you just being picky about the process and how it's going, how it's unfolding for you, don't give up because of that. Just readjust your expectations. Work on your problem resolution skills. Maybe your time management skills. Maybe go outside, go touch grass, take a break, give yourself the space to analyze the situation and maybe come up with a different approach and come back with a clear mind and start back from there. But then if it's not something like that, if the aspect that you are over is the actual pursuit itself, like the actual project, the thing that you're doing, that's a different story. And it kind of takes us back to the conversation of like reconnecting with why you started in the first place. If you don't feel a connection to what you are doing, like if you have reached a point where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore, and you're looking at the actual project itself, and that's just how you feel, like, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be doing this anymore. I feel like I tried it and I'm cool on it, whatever, then let it go. Give up on it. It's cool. It's fine. Like, if anybody needs this message, that's basically what this video is here to let you know. It's like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to follow through on this. Sometimes we get so consumed in the work. Sometimes it's like maybe you just got used to doing this. Maybe you got used to just working on this thing and putting all this time in, and you're just so consumed with the process that it's just become routine for you. Or maybe it's just like filling up so much space, you're not sure of what's going to be there when this is gone. So it's just like, okay, I don't really know why I'm doing this anymore. I'm just doing it. But if I'm not doing this, what am I going to be doing? Like, when you get into areas like that, like when we're in that type of territory, you need to let that go, because there's something else in you. And that's the reason why you're continuing to do it. And that's not okay. Like, if you're not sure what you're going to fill that space with when this is gone, you definitely need to let this go. You definitely need this to be gone, because you need to realize, or you need to figure out what should actually be in this space. Like, that's not a scary thing. That's actually a really good thing. It's like, I'm not connected to this. Let it go so that you can get outside and figure out what you actually are connected to. That's what's going to fill the space. Something better. Hello? Like, or also, again, sometimes you don't want to feel like you failed. Like, you started this, you put in so much time, so much hard work, so much effort, that if you don't get the results, or like you don't reach that end goal, you're going to feel like a failure. And I'm here to let you know, you're not a failure, okay? Like, you actually succeeded. Because again, when you made the commitment to do this thing, sometimes your mind changes in the process. Sometimes as more information comes about, you change your mind, your connection to it changes, and your acknowledgement of that is what is most important. But when you ignore that out of, again, ego, as opposed to paying attention to and respecting your intuition and how you actually feel and what your soul is telling you, that's when you have a problem. That's when it's like, you're just doing this out of ego. You're just doing this because you don't want to look like a failure, or you don't want to feel like a failure. But you are not a failure, because you did it, you tried it, and you respected yourself enough to let it go when you realized that it was not meant to be here anymore. And this low-key could apply to people in relationships as well, but that's not what we're talking about. We already talked about that. And then I also want to mention the fact that, like, it helps to also look at why you may be feeling like you want to give it up. Because, like, we looked at the connection, like why you started. We looked at what about this project or this thing is making you want to give up on it. And now I'm saying, look at why you may want to give up on it. Because sometimes you just get caught up in an emotional moment. Like, you just get caught up in a moment where you want to make a hasty decision because frustration is visiting you, because a negative emotion is visiting you. Like, you've reached a point in this project where it's like you're having a hard time figuring something out, or again, you may be burnt out, you may be tired. Like, again, these are just like emotions and feelings that are just visiting you. They're not you. It has nothing to do with the project itself. It has nothing to do with any aspects. It's just why you're feeling like this right now. And if it's that, again, let's go outside, let's touch grass, let's not make any hasty decisions, let's not make any decisions at all. Let's just turn our brains off for a second and let's just go give ourselves the space to just let that frustration visit and let it pass. Because when it's here, when any of those negative emotions are here, you know, it clouds your mind. Like, you're not able to think clearly. And when you're making hasty decisions in that cloudiness, when you're like, oh, fuck this shit, I'm done with it, like, because your mind is cloudy and you're irritated, that's not what we need to be doing. We need to wait until that cloudiness leaves. And if that cloudiness leaves and you still feel that way, you're still like, yeah, fuck this shit, I don't want to do this no more, then cool. But at least you came to that conclusion with a clear head. At least you let the frustration pass you first. At least you let the negative emotion pass you first. And you can confidently say, I made this decision, not my emotions. I did. And that's why let's look at why. That's why we should look at why. Goofy. So bottom line, all I came here to say and all I came here to work through with you is that we need to just check ourselves. We need to make sure we're digging deeper. We need to give ourselves the space and the opportunity to learn and grow through things and not give up on things prematurely, but also acknowledge that, okay, I gave this my all and I don't want to do it anymore. Reaching that point is okay too, basically. As long as there's nothing else tied to that leads to or confirms that it's for like the wrong reasons, don't put a negative connotation on giving up on things, okay? Because again, we are here to live this life and to try things and experience things and figure out what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And it's okay to conclude that something just doesn't fucking work for us. Like, it's fine. But yeah, you guys, I will not hold you much longer. Hopefully this wasn't too long of a video. I felt like it was gonna be quick, but I'll be talking a lot, so we'll see after I edit it. But thank y'all so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure that you thumbs up so that I know that you liked it. Feel free to comment, tell me your thoughts, tell me your feelings, tell me what you think about this topic. I would love to talk to you. And if you like this vibe, if you like chit chats, you like introspection, just digging deeper, like really just working through things and making sure that, you know, on the topics of life, love, and the pursuit of passion, the pursuit of purpose, that we are just addressing things with ourselves that maybe we don't always think about and consider all the time. If you like that type of vibe, then feel free to subscribe. I would love for you to make yourself at home. I also do occasional vlogs from time to time when I leave my cave and I do something interesting. But yeah, so I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.